Happy Dragon Lucky. The show will begin momentarily.
But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win. We choose to go to the moon.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. This is Super Happy Dragon Lucky, episode 70D. That's 0x7d. It's the 126th episode. As a reminder that nothing you're about to hear is financial advice. Some of it may be technical advice. This week on Number Go Up, we have the cumulative hash rate. This is the total hash rate, of course. And the reason that this matters is that on Dragonchain itself, we effectively combine the network security or the network power of both Bitcoin and Ethereum. And if you look at this tweet, which is just about 2 years old, I think that's right. It's January 2020, if I'm correct, that there was 675 million time applied at that time, but it's since then 8,000 YATA hashes approximate. And that's a very conservative estimate, which would translate to about $9.2 billion worth of security that can prove to whoever you were to offer this data that it is unchanged and real. Anyway, so it's important to our security, and it's a very interesting thing. So, okay, next update, we're going to go to Dragonchain. First, simple stuff. You might notice that there are changes in price on the merch store. We realized that there were a lot of inconsistencies as items were added over the years, and we made everything consistent. And I do not believe that anything would have increased in price. I think almost across the board, everything would have decreased in price. So, check that out. Go and buy something before the end of the year. We also want to tell you that there is some new core dev activity that will be very interesting. It's very interesting to me in three different areas, a couple of which are to close up some known scalability bottlenecks. That even in the period where we did the 250 million transactions, actually it was 260 million in that 24-hour period, that we knew of one bottleneck that we discovered with that undertaking, and we're going to address it. And there's also some really interesting design things that we're looking at that will effectively make the platform even easier to use. There are a couple of things that we had noticed in the past year, and we're basically through a lot of the design and thinking about how we want this to work. And there are a lot of details left, but I just thought we should bring that up because it's behind the scenes and you guys wouldn't know about it until we announce it. And I don't know how soon we'll be able to announce it. So just know that there is some interesting work happening there. And expect a few updates at the beginning of the year, or after the new year, I should say. I don't know how soon, and a lot of it is outside of our control with customers. But there are some things going on that we hope to let everybody know about hopefully soon. Okay. Now we go to Den.Social updates. So first, the December 2021 LCP layers are now live. The winner of both categories was Advice Layer, that got 3.5 million lore and had 67 unique voters. And that was a relatively recent proposal in October from Y'all Weird. So he will get 10,000 lot courtesy of Den's own lore, and 2 additional layers have been created as well, as they were runners up. And the very first runner up was the motorcycle layer proposed by Alexans in April of this year, and it got 1.6 million lore and 49 unique voters. I think that would have been a 200 matter cost. And then the third runner up was Garden and Flowers, and it will be created, or has been created, I should say. It was proposed by Salvan 1209 in October, and it had 672,000 lore, not too much, that's pretty cool, and 26 unique voters. And they would have spent, if I'm not incorrect, 600 matter to get that created. So all 3 of those have already been created. Go look in your layer list and subscribe to them. We do need to probably talk about whether those should automatically be subscribed when there are new ones added and people can unsubscribe, or how we want to do that. Because right now it's when they're created, you have to manually go in and turn it on to subscribe to it to see the content. So anyway, in your feed anyway. Next, let's see here. Over 130 million lot have been created to date in Den. So that's 130 million NFTs. Pretty cool metric, and very interesting that we can do that at such scale. So good stuff. As a reminder to anyone who committed lore that was converted into lot in this process of the LCP, you do not have to export that lot to Ethereum. We want to make sure that you don't, without understanding this, spend those right now relatively high Ethereum fees to do that when you don't need to. If you want to, there's a process for it, and it's still available, but we just want to make sure that people aren't unnecessarily spending money on that process. So anyway, all lot is already, if you committed lore in the LCP, the lot should be in your account, and you should be able to see it, and you shouldn't have to do anything to use it, right? It's already in there. You'll already have governance. You'll already be in the matter mining that happens inside of that layer. So all good stuff. Let's see here. Next update, there was a Den mobile release in both iOS and Android app stores. So do go make sure you have the latest update there. And you should, with the new update, have some limited governance capabilities. We added voting, which is the most important piece. We added the ability to create a miscellaneous governance issue in a layer if you have lot for that layer. And we also are allowing, I believe, to set to propose as a governance issue a new avatar for the layer. So we'll slowly start we will get other configuration in there, but it's a new interface, so that's being built out. And we also, in this version, there are a few new deep link capabilities. It's not completely done as we will in the end, but we're slowly adding various things to the app in that way. Next update, Den governance call is now weekly, every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern and noon Pacific. So do go to do watch this if you can, live or after the fact. We're getting a lot of good info in there. We're getting a lot of detailed questions answered, and we're also doing demos and things like that of the new features, so that you can understand a little better both how to interact with the new feature or the system, and also some of the meaning behind it. That is, I guess you could call it tips and tricks, things that would be useful to know when you're using the system. And it helps us also to figure out how to communicate some of the more complex technical details. So do watch that. It's very good content. And also tune in tomorrow, Wednesday, for Coffee with Den. And we'll have to look at the time. It's 9 a.m. Eastern, it looks like. And so it's 6 Pacific in the U.S. And do go in there, because he has gotten very good content by just using the system live and describing the hows and the whys that he does certain things, and that someone else might do differently. But it's a very valuable show, because the content really kind of gives you a better understanding of how to benefit most from Den, which we want, because knowing those behaviors, it helps Den be better. And that's why Den is what it is. So, okay. Now we'll go to World Blockchain Roundtable updates. Episode 32 is this Thursday. The topic is going to be the end of year review. So go leave any year-related topic, things about events that happened during the year, especially in blockchain, or anything related to blockchain. And also do vote on what others have already posted. I did look. There are already some great questions in there, in my opinion. And we'll hopefully have some great content again this week. Last week's episode was blockchain conspiracies. There's some really interesting content in that, and it wasn't all crazy conspiracy theories. It was things that happen in the blockchain world and what it might mean and how you might interpret various events. So it currently has about 2,700 views. And the more views that it gets, the more lot all the participants will get, participants, including the people that provided topics and questions. So go and share that. Make sure you watch it again. So right after this, we'll have a 3-question AMA.
Now, more than ever, our data is at risk. Our supply chains are in jeopardy. Our systems are broken, and businesses feel powerless. Dragonchain gives you a different way, a safer way, a better way, and you have power over your data. Dragonchain gives you proof in an untrusted world. Build now at Dragonchain.com, America's blockchain.
Okay. Sorry, I actually refreshed my window and I was out of the studio for a minute. So, okay. Anyway, let's refresh that window and get to the first question, which is from Jacob Wayne. Okay, so this is something I've been pondering for some time. If someone has a well-written, high-quality post, but the message goes against everything you believe, would you downvote? Or is it more important to curate quality and predict how others will vote? Okay, so this is a great, amazing question. And this is about Den.Social. It's totally up to you. As for me, it is very interesting because if you put any energy on it, you're betting it will go in that direction. So you could interpret the vote, though, in a couple of different ways. You could look at it as, let's pretend like there's no energy involved. I'm either voting up or down. That typically I'm going to say, I don't like that opinion. I'm going to vote down. The interesting thing is you could theoretically say, I'm going to vote down, but I'm only going to put one energy into it because I don't think anyone else agrees with me. And effectively, you're pushing a consensus that I don't think this is great content, but I know that I'm probably in the minority, right? And the flip side is if I love this content, but I don't think that it is likely great content in the to curate for the community, I can do the same. I could vote one up. And so, the consensus itself is based upon the percentage of denizens in that community that vote in the positive, and combined with a quorum, which is in the future it'll be dynamic. Right now it is the more people vote on it, the more consensus you get, and at a certain level it just levels off, and it pretty much has the quorum. You have enough people weighing in on it that the system can judge it based upon the consensus there. When you have a less than a full quorum, then it's not as valuable because the system doesn't have enough info to really judge it. So you could play it in any number of ways, but the intent and the behavior that is rewarded is the prediction. So if you say, look, because the intent generally is that you could take someone off the street who doesn't believe in the subject of the community, and they should be able to earn value, to mine matter by predicting what the community will like. I mean, you don't have to agree politically with a certain group to know that, well, this content is great for them, and that effectively we could have entirely disinterested parties in some of these communities that would be and could be great evaluators just because they can see how the community interacts and they can see what things trend, and they can seek content, or make content, or evaluate content entirely based upon that. So it's an interesting thing, and so the beauty is that knowing that people can make their own choice. They could effectively not provide any not gain any value from evaluating the content, but that's not what they should be doing just because the rewards are there. So emotions get involved and everything else, and I personally try to stay away from getting emotional on stuff. It might be something that I would reply to, but I'm not going to vote something down typically just because I disagree with it, or just because it's attacking me. But the things like the ability to block people is what you're supposed to use in those cases. If there's something that you're bothered by someone, or there's something overly emotional, you should just block them. That way you don't see them, and it's a better experience. We do. I will say, this is a long answer. Sorry about that, but I will say that generally, I think by and large, the community, although we've had, obvious flare-ups of drama, I've been pretty amazed that, given the fact that we have people from crypto, we have people that aren't in crypto, and we have people from all different parts of the world, that we haven't seen very much drama, especially compared to what we see in Telegram or Twitter. So, and that is, I think, just a byproduct, that everything is a little more respectful discourse, I think. So hopefully we can keep it that way. All right, next question. And I'm looking over here because I can't see as much. Kratos, God of Boy. Do you feel U.S. regulation is holding back Dragonchain from mass adoption? I don't know if it is. I would myself say that it did. I think that if we wouldn't have had the issue that happened across the board, issues that happened across the board in the crypto industry back in probably starting in 2018, that we would have had a much better time of things. we were already generating revenue back then, legitimate project revenue, and it effectively cut us off from any new revenue for a long time because we just had too many unknowns. And we lasted through it, and I think that we are stronger because of it. But at the same time, if theoretically, if we would have been somewhere else in the world, we'd probably be an entirely different outlook, which nobody could have predicted that absolute effect, because but most of the time you produce something in the U.S. and you have a lot more stability and a lot more clean, open marketplace to deal with, and we haven't really had that. And I think the same thing with exchanges, that a lot of U.S. exchanges are probably at a great disadvantage, and it's because there's just too many crazy unknowns. And it's probably, you could make a case that it's inexcusable for certain, but there are a lot of things going on in politics in the recent past that is probably inexcusable. So, okay, next. That's a good question. HODL, Den dark mode. When should we expect? And okay, so that's one question. Marketplace for Den NFTs to trade with Matter, LOT. Okay, so Matter to LOT or Dragon to LOT for more adoption, and Dragon Dex whole crypto space will like to. Okay, cheap transaction costs is the main point, right? So okay, so the first, I'll go ahead and answer all of them, right? But you only get one lot. So the first dark mode, I want to add that too. I don't know when we're going to. I need to talk to the devs. In particular, it'll be different on web and mobile. I know we should theoretically be able to have a theme applied, and we would just need to work it out. So sometime we'll have that. I know somebody else asked in some other thread somewhere, and I didn't get to answer, but the answer's here. So, and the next, marketplace for Den NFTs to trade Matter. So to trade Matter for LOT or Dragon for LOT, I don't know all the details yet because we have to get into implementation, and this definitely will happen after site-wide governance goes out and after a few other things. But that's one of the bigger initiatives that I want to see, because we have a lot of potential. We're already it's already possible, and this was the first step, to tip LOT, right? We originally were going to have Matter tipping, and that would have made sense, like Bitcoin tipping on Twitter, right? But with this setup, we thought, okay, let's go ahead and add lore tipping and LOT tipping, and that kind of complicated a few things, made it took a little longer, but it was very important because it's the first step to saying, now that we can transfer that on Dragonchain instead of on Ethereum, you don't have to pay the fees. And there might be fees in the end for some of this, probably will be, but we haven't decided any of that yet. So there are a few things to be added there, but know that it wouldn't probably be a DEX. It wouldn't be an exchange. It would be more like a game, swapping, trading stuff in a game. That's the kind of the vision, and because of that, I really want to see the LOT being measured in a way that isn't, how do I say, I don't know how best to say this, that is effectively measured in Matter minting value. That is, I could trade Matter for some of your LOT, but it isn't just some arbitrary, oh, I want 5 Matter for this one LOT, when that it'll probably be based with some degree of variability. It will be based upon how much Matter that LOT will generate in a given period of time. So, rather than saying, oh, the Matter's worth this much and the LOT's some arbitrary, I'm just going to charge $10 for it. It'll be based upon how long it'll take for that matter to generate a certain amount of lot, and you'll be able to set that time, and it'll be a very interesting thing. But that way it'll be a pure swap, and people can then effectively say, look, I want to distribute some of my lot to build the community and get more people in. And rather than just tipping, I'm going to provide this mechanism, which might be cheaper than some others might trade their lot. So anyway, that's a little hard to describe, but we're working on it. So we'll have a better description when we get it further out there, and we'll have to have some governance votes on how it gets built, and some of the ranges and some of the other details. But yes, that's planned, and I'm sure we'll have it out there soon, and it'll be all inert. It'll all be in the system, so it'll be clean and fast, and you won't have to export lot and take it to OpenSea and pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars to do that. So anyway, that's what it is. So that's the 3 questions. You're going to get 1 lot for each of you in the Dragonchain lair. So good questions. Thanks a bunch. So to close out the show, go check out the merch store. It's Dragonchain.Store, STORE. We have a couple of specials going on right now. It's the last week for the Christmas merch, which is Merry Christmas JoJo. It's 20% off until January 3. And the next is the New Year Celebration JoJo, which is Happy New Year JoJo with dashes in between. And that's 20% off until the end of January. So go buy some of that stuff. There are a bunch of other cool items like the Den Colors stuff. There's a couple of new family crest things, I think. There's an embroidered Den hoodie, things like that. So go check that out. And watch us again next Tuesday. Every Tuesday, Super Happy Dragon Lucky. Watch the World Blockchain Roundtable this Thursday. Should be a great end-of-year show. Follow Dragonchain, Real Denizens, and Jojo Row on Twitter and LinkedIn and Den. And like, comment, subscribe, and share. This is the last show of the year. Happy New Year. Thank you very much for watching. See you again soon.
Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best.
Adaptable, all capital, label radical yet rational. A tactical approach is palpable if this animal is fallible. But that conclusion is laughable, so with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now.